continuing the coverage of like the drugs and rehab and prison reform and all this trouble that I grew up around it, man. You know, I had family members that were part of it. You know, it was happening right down the road from my house. I could smell the ammonia when I drove by that one trailer down the road. You know, you knew what was going on. You've seen the cars running up and down the road in all hours of the night. I grew up, you know, my dad there was a lot of truck drivers around in my life, and you know, sometimes it works its way into that lifestyle because those guys have to work so hard, and you know, they got to have a little help staying up to get down the road sometimes. So that idea continued in the record with a song called Appalachian Alchemy that I started writing with Luke Preston one night. It was a completely different song, and I was sitting outside of the camper, I think maybe the same day that I wrote 215634. I didn't have my phone for 3 weeks, which I thought was going to be terrible, but I didn't have a cell phone for like 3 weeks or no social media or anything, and I wrote 3 songs in that point in time. So maybe I should do away with my phone because I can't write shit right now if I try. But I started working on this song, and there's a devil in these hollers, my papa told me so. He's hiding out somewhere down off Barton Ferry Road, which is where my buddy grew up and where we'd run around in our 20s, and you could find what you needed, you know. So then you get into the chorus, this alkaline and Sudafed, basically a recipe for methamphetamines, which has been a plague on, you know, rural Kentucky for years and other parts of the world. Those kind of drugs were always like big city problems, I felt like. Did you guys, I mean, you grew up in Tulsa, you grew up in Indiana. Was anything like that, meth or heroin, any of that stuff ever prevalent there?
Not at that time. Not when I was growing up. You'd hear about some guys smoking pot. That's all you'd hear.
Yeah. It wasn't really, what years were you, like high school and right after?
Now I'm showing my age.
Sorry.
So no, 85 is when I graduated high school.
Okay.
So in college, even in college, I didn't see drugs.
So it was kind of like pre-hard drug era, kind of, as far as that stuff goes, too, though. What about you growing up in the city, though?
I was never aware of it.
Yeah. That's wild. I feel like it really, like, that was the first time in my life, it happened during my lifetime as a kid that a hard drug made its way to the country. You know, we always viewed those things as big city problems. We didn't have those problems. Now we have kids, parents, you know, friends, cousins, all dying every month.
I mean, the hardest thing, now that I think about it, was a handful of kids were taking pain pills. You know?
Yeah.
They say they were doing bars or...
Yeah, Xanax and
lower tab.
Lower tabs and stuff. Yeah, I feel like that was, they call weed the gateway drug, but I mean, for me in high school, it was pills. Like, I smoked weed maybe 1 time, 2 times between 17 years old and graduating high school. But I tried pills much earlier on. And then as I got out of high school and was running the hollers at night, you know, I found the harder stuff. But I wanted to tell the story, like, again, just like pill, actually how it is. But also I wanted it to feel like it feels to be in that, you know. And that's where the vibe for Appalachian Alchemy came from. And I hollered at Luke because I'd started writing that chorus, and I felt like he was the guy I wanted to write it with.
You called me that night, and you and Luke were there. I could hear him on the phone too. And you played me like the verse and the chorus. You were like, "You want to come write this song with us?" And I laughed. I laughed at it. I was like, no, I'm good.
Maybe not the right call.
Get that out of your system. Yeah. That's funny.
Well, that was the original version of the song, which was something else. And dude, Luke's sneaky too. Like, I think he's sidekick. I really do, because he wrote that whole second part of that first verse where it's like shaking up a bottle till you shaking when it's gone, and you're down at River City pawning everything you own. I'm driving through Litchfield just a few months ago, and I look over to my left, and there's this big red building that says River City Pawn. I was like, I didn't know that was there. I took a picture of it and sent it to Luke, and he was like, yeah. Cool. He's like, yeah, son. But when I first wrote that song, again, this song, like, when you hear it, it's this really rocking. I mean, we leaned into Foo Fighters and Rage and everything when we were working on and this new band who I went and seen at South by Southwest, this hardcore band called Military Gun. I was so inspired watching these guys play. It reminded me of just being a young punk mad at the world and singing however I wanted to, you know. But their singer has this growl and this bark that he does, and it really inspired those segments in the song where it's like, alchemy, you know? So yeah, with all those influences from Military Gun and Foo Fighters and Rage, and there's even, I feel like, a little bit of like Copperhead Road, you know, inserted in this song. It's such an upbeat thing, but it's about such a heavy topic. Again, when I finished that song, I didn't know that it was going to be part of the project. I just was playing it acoustic outside of the camper and put a video up on Facebook. And the comments is what led me to recording this one as well. There was these guys that would come on there and be like, 10 years clean, 7 years. I'm still in it right now, man. Thank you for being a voice for us. You know, so I was like, dang, even a song like this with this kind of vibe can touch somebody that way, then it needs to be out there in the world. Because if there was 3 or 4 in the comments, then there's thousands of them out there. That
You probably didn't think that song was art.
No, it just felt like it kind of felt like Copperhead Road to me, you know, but just about something a little darker than moonshine. But recording that song was probably one of my favorites to work on.
It was fun
During that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just already, it's like, I can't believe we're recording this song, so we might as well just do whatever the hell we want to, you know?
Sherwood doing the real punky bass line.
We tried to start it different, right?
Maybe.
It was like acoustic, I think, and drums at first.
We jammed on it a good bit.
But Sherwood comes in with a dome, dome,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember because I was like, let me just sing over that for
And
a
then
second.
I
You
felt
had
like-
the rain stick.
Yeah, as a shaker.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like I just knew what to do on the drums. And
Yeah.
it's like a weird
Well, it's one of those
drum
songs
program,
where
but
you just be a punk kid having fun on drums,
Yeah.
you know. But you didn't use the rain stick as a shaker. You laid it in your lap and started.
I was hitting it.
Which sounds kind of ominous, you know. Another thing that really helped me with this whole project was being part of the Stone Cold Country, the Rolling Stones project that we worked on with Robert Deaton. Like getting to do the Sympathy for the Devil and introducing that side of things to people through that record really helped me just be able to open up and be like, okay, let's put some of this side of me on the record as well. And I feel like it kind of bled over into that song. Yeah. And then I don't know, were you here at any point while we were recording that song?
I don't think so.
It was the next day you came in for Just Heaven Have a Creek. But Luke,
We were,
the most like unsung hero of guitar in the world, I feel like he has no idea how great he is as a player. But what was the pedal?
we broke out the whammy pedal. Do like some Tom Morello. Speaking of Rage, you know.
Yeah.
It's just going nuts. I mean, there's 2 or 3 tracks of guitars all over surrounding and just going like just the craziest
He said
stuff.
he could never play that again if he had to.
Nah.
My guitar player he called me while he was trying to learn this. He's like, dude, like, what the hell do you want me to do here? And I was just like, well, Luke said he could never play it again if he tried, so just go crazy. So the other night it's sick live. Like I told those guys, like, as much as I want the live show to be a lot different in places from the record, there's songs that I feel like they just don't need to change at all, and that was one of them. I want to be as close to the recording as possible on this one. Yeah, man, it was. I don't know, that song is such an anomaly to me just because of how it sounds versus the response that I seen to it the first time that we posted it. I can't wait for people to hear the actual version. And playing it live, it seems so weird to me to just see people just start dancing to it and stuff when I'm up there singing Alkaline and Sudafed.
Yeah.
Like, do they have any idea what
Hey
I'm
man,
talking
little
about right now?
Houston dances to it. My little 3-year-old.